All right, well, the GTA housing market picked up some momentum last month, a sharp rise in homes sold over the same month, November of 2023. Sellers also getting some good news as prices seem to follow an upward trend. Let's dig into the details this morning. Toronto Regional Real Estate Board's chief market analyst, Jason Mercer, is live with us on the couch this morning. That seems like a positive sign for the market. Is that how you interpret the month-to-month comparison data?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we saw a continuation of what we talked about last month, where we have seen an improvement in borrowing costs. So obviously that impacts positively monthly payments that people would be looking at if they purchase a home. And so we're starting to see more people come off the sidelines and back into the market. And I think, as we move forward, we're going to see an announcement from the Bank of Canada this month, and then obviously moving into the new year as well. So as we move towards the spring of 2025, I'd expect the market conditions to improve further.
Yeah, I think it's a week from today that we might actually be hearing from the Bank of Canada on interest rates. It's interesting, the speculation gone from maybe a 50 basis point drop to likely 25. But I want to look even beyond that. January 20th, as we know, Jason, Donald Trump will be once again the president of the United States. He's threatening these tariffs, which has kind of sent some shocks into the economy. Could you see any of that potentially rippling or rocking the real estate market?
Well, I think a couple things. Whenever you talk about tariffs and counter tariffs and everything that goes on in that type of discussion or negotiation, it's never good for the economy, obviously, just in terms of overall growth and jobs and what have you. It can also be inflationary, which can impact borrowing costs. So, I think everyone's hoping cooler heads will prevail and we'll continue to have a constructive trade relationship. But, obviously that'll be something to look at both from an interest rate perspective, but also an overall economy perspective moving forward.
Yeah, we can see the government certainly scrambling, trying to put together some sort of position to bolster Canada. In the meantime, I was interested that the single detached homes sort of around the GTA, 1.45 million, that's getting close to, I think, maybe the record we saw a couple of years ago, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the single family market versus the condo market, we're starting to see a bit of a divergence there for sure, right?
Thinking.
So, I mean, even through this slower period of time in the market, we haven't seen a lot of supply come online in that single family side. And so if you've been waiting to purchase that type of home, a single, a semi, even a townhome, there's still a lot less inventory relative to what we're seeing in the condo space. So it makes sense that we're starting to see, more in the way of price growth there versus the condo segment where there's still a lot of supply, which will benefit, of course, first-time buyers entering into the market because they're still benefiting from lower borrowing costs, but also still lower home prices.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of where borrowing costs were this time last year, last November, they've come down significantly here. Are you really noticing that people are now thinking, okay, I can breathe, I can borrow, I'm feeling more confidence getting into the market first time or to move up, as it were?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you definitely, if you look at the sales figure that we saw, this past November compared to last year, it's up a lot. But even if you look at it on a monthly basis, after adjusting for the time of year, we're seeing sales edge upwards. So that kind of momentum suggests that we're even going to see more activity as we move into 2025.
I've got to ask, this, of course, is the month of Christmas. Some realtors say it's the best time to sell your house because it looks so festive and the trees are up and it's decorated. Others say nobody wants someone trampling through their house to take. What's your take on what happens to the market typically in the month of December?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, things do slow down in December for the reasons you mentioned. It's the holidays, people are going away and everything surrounding that. But at the same time, when you have these sort of points in the economy where you're in a bit of a transition point, and that's certainly where we are right now in the housing market, sometimes all bets are off. So it'll be interesting when we talk in January, what we saw.
When you talk about a transition point, what do you see as being the next transition now in the market then?
Yeah, I mean, to get us back to the sales levels that we were seeing, say, 2021 and 2022, or even close to that, we do need to see, a continued decline in borrowing costs. Because right now, while we're seeing a greater number of households that can afford to purchase a home, to get to that sort of average household, if you will, we still probably need to see 100, 150 basis points. And we'll get there, but it's going to take a few more announcements on the part of the Bank of Canada.
Okay, yeah, so we'll, of course, watch for that and see what happens a week from today. Then, Jason Mercer, always appreciate the time and analysis. Good to see you here.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
See you in about a month or so.
You bet. Happy holidays. Okay.